All right, we're good. Welcome back, and we're going to kick off tonight's episode of the Newton Area Flag Football League podcast with our head of officiating and player safety, Steve Pollard. So I want to welcome you here and thank you for taking the time out.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me. Always good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. It's been too long, right?
Yeah, a while. The whole COVID issue has really kept us apart too long. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more. And as you know, we're putting on this series of podcasts and episodes to keep people informed about what we're doing, what we're about as a league, and help people get to know our officers, our key staff members like yourself a little bit better, and just try to find ways to keep our community together, keep engaged, keep growing, keep building what we started, a little over 5 seasons ago. So, as you know, here in Massachusetts, we're looking forward to reopening again in the fall for sure. So in the meantime, like I said, we want to use this as a chance to inform our players, our future players, and everyone else kind of out there a little bit about what we do, who we are, and kind of help build the program of Flag. So along those lines, you've been with us since the very beginning. And I know you're a very, very visible and important part of the program, but maybe you could just inform myself and everyone out there listening a little bit more about your own experiences, as particularly as it relates to sports. What did you grow up playing? All that kind of good detail.
Okay. Well, thanks again for having me, Jay. I appreciate that introduction. You're too kind. But I wouldn't be able to do it without you, partner, so I appreciate it. So basically, I grew up as a young kid loving sports. My dad actually was a professional boxer at one time. He was the first one to introduce basketball to me when I was about 10 years old. I went to, as I grew a little bit older, I ended up going to play basketball in high school at Belmont High School, where I ended up starting as a sophomore on the varsity team.
Impressive.
Yeah, thanks. After a few years, I ended up becoming captain on the team my last 2 years, actually, and ended up my career scoring over 1,000 points, which was, pretty huge for me. So I had a pretty good high school basketball career over at Belmont. A good time.
Congratulations. Yeah, definitely. It sounds very impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you went on to play some college basketball too. Is that right?
Yes, I actually, prior to going to college, I ended up playing college basketball, rather. I ended up playing a year of football in prep school. I went to New Hampton Prep for a year. Played wide receiver, playing a little football until, unfortunately, I got hurt. And then reality set in as stick to what you know. But I had a good time. But I actually ended up leaving New Hampton, and I went to play college ball at State College in New Hampshire. I went there. I ended up redshirting my first year, played for 5 years, and also ended up finishing up as a 1,000-point scorer in college. So I had a pretty good run over the years in basketball. It was good to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking a little bit more about the details there. What kind of position did you play? I think I kind of see you as, like I was saying before, a little bit of a swingman, mid-range kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
James Worthy-ish, Scottie Pippen come to mind.
You're too kind, buddy. You're too kind. I actually played, I was more of a slasher, but I played the two guard, the shooting guard, and also a three-man slasher type of play.
Yeah.
And defensively, I kind of played a little bit of everything because I had a little bit of agility at the time, so I just kind of got bounced around defensively. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
And I guess moving forward a little bit, I mean, that sounds like a really strong background that really puts you in some rarefied air in terms of knowledge of sports and the games, and just kind of understanding the flow, and also, I mean, the intensity of it, right? I mean, and maybe this could kind of transition a bit into a little bit about how you got involved with officiating,
Mhm.
because it takes a certain demeanor to be able to channel that energy, right? And to keep things going well, keeping it tight, keeping it clean. So how did you get started with officiating, and eventually how'd you start working in flag officiating?
Well, it's funny you said that. I think as that, anytime you're involved in sports and athletics, it kind of teaches you a sense of competitiveness, commitment, the whole social aspect. So it kind of helps you to be a little bit more versatile. I think sports is wonderful for
Hmm.
any individual, any age, children, young, old. I think it's kind of a uplifting thing to be involved in. But for me, um, I ended up getting into refereeing coincidentally because I had done some coaching. I did some coaching. I actually coached in New York at the Big Apple games in New York. I would do
Wow.
that summers as well. And I did some local coaching in the community where I live at in Boston. And a good friend of mine, Leon Graves, was a very good official, a good friend of mine for many years. And he said, "You know what? You should get into refereeing." I'm like, "Ah, no, I'm not getting into that ref stuff. I'm still a hooper. I'm not doing that." But as I had a chance to watch him and see the interaction, I looked at him like, well, maybe I might get into it. It's kind of interesting. It keeps so. After a few years, I kind of gave in and ended up later, um, after trial and error, um, I'm still in it and enjoyed being around it, enjoyed the people I've met, enjoyed um, developing my craft, and it's been fun for me. Good time.
Yeah, definitely, and it certainly shows. I think with the level of commitment and the important part of I think what you do as an official, particularly when it comes to not just working with the younger kids, but also as the players age up in our program. And I know you have a lot of experience refereeing with high schools and other men's leagues and things in the area. Maybe you could say a few words about some of that.
Yeah, so first of all, I enjoy being around kids, period. It's fun to watch them grow. It's fun to watch them develop. So that kind of motivates you. I know it does you, Jake. Just
Hmm.
it gets you more involved and committed. I think um, for me, I wanted to be a part of something that I could see would really grow. Um, and that was inspiring for me. So I I basically when I took on officiating, I wanted to be the best that I possibly could be as an official. Um, and I was around a lot of great officials. I went to a lot of camps. Um, I did a lot of things to help develop that skill, and the reward of watching um, the growth, like with our program and other programs, and the experience that I got reffing men's league, like the West leagues, like the West Suburban Y, where
Right.
Jake Oshett is a star over there, and a lot of the AAU programs and things like that. I probably refed in the numbers of probably well over a couple thousand games in my career. So
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy. So, but I enjoy it. Keeps me in. I enjoy being, the kids. So it's been fun.
Yeah, so that's definitely impressive. Yeah, and of course, I've seen you work your craft on a first-hand basis. Some of the games I've participated in at the Y and Watertown. Yeah, I mean, some of those games I would have liked a better outcome, but certainly no knock on you, right?
You left your mark, Jay. It's all right.
I was thinking though, like, how did you get involved in coaching flag football? Because I know that I came to you when you were coaching flag football in Belmont, right? So you were working a lot of basketball games, and then how did the flag football corner kind of open up?
So the flag football opened up because of a good friend of mine. I know you're familiar with him, Dave McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
Dave McLaren was a longtime fellow basketball official that I had done tons of basketball games from AAU to high school to prep school, whatever. And then he got involved in flag football. He's like, "Hey, Steve, I think you should come on this side, check it out. It's an up and coming sport. You work well, da 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 da." And I said, "Okay, I'll come down and I'll watch it." And then to watch the speed of the game, to watch the enjoyment from, we're talking kids in the 4th and 5th grade to high school, to watch the enjoyment, to watch the coaching, to watch the parents' enjoyment was a good atmosphere for me. So I said it might be something I'll try. And as I got better, it became something that I enjoyed. It was like my Sunday special,
Yeah.
And then, you and I got together, and it's been a good time for us. Definitely been a good time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you raised some important points there as well about the nature of flag football and what an accessible sport it is, I think, for a lot of kids. Doesn't require on the front end normally when you kind of get started a lot of initial investment in terms of hours of practice. It's a great second, maybe third sport for kids, and it's also a great chance, I think, for kids that maybe not would have as much of a chance to excel in other sports can really come in and make a contribution, score a touchdown, be
Right.
involved in a defensive play, and I think it's just a really great fun sport. The environment is really really good, and we've played most of our games over the years at Daly Field. As you remember, we had the tournament at Boston College.
Yeah.
So lots of great opportunities, and I think it's really crucial for us to point out here too, especially with you in charge of our officiating there, that you're really leading a team of professionals that we're bringing on board to take care of each and every game and to really bring a layer of professionalism and knowledge to keeping our games not only to the rules, right? But the rules are in place, as you point out, a lot of times to keep safety in mind, right? And that's part of the draw, I think, of flag football too, is that it's a competitive environment, but it's a safe environment. And it takes a lot of talent, I think, to be a really great official. And I think the team that you lead there and that you brought on board, really helps to set our program apart from some of the others in the area. Just because it's such an important part of the game that a lot of people, I think, don't really quite fully take into account, and so my hat's off to you there. And,
Thanks.
it's not always
Thank
easy to be out there, especially as the games get more and more intense, you know, and
Yeah.
we've seen that. We've
Yeah.
seen that. And, you really have to be able to make tough calls and to have cooler heads prevail. And at the end of the day, what we want, of course, is for people to have a great experience, but also walk away knowing that, the right calls were made and that the right team came out on top. And I think you and your team have done a great job helping us reach those high goals. So I
Thanks,
know
Jay.
we talked about this a little bit before, but maybe you could explain to some of our coaches, our parents, our players out there who might be listening, any of the most important rules that you think that exist around flag football, or anything that maybe might be a little bit, I don't know, counterintuitive or wouldn't right away come to mind comparing it to, say, tackle football?
So thanks again, Jay. I want to say to the parents and coaches and anyone else listening that first of all, as an official, you have to have a certain type of disposition. Being able to be sociable and approachable is huge. And presentation is improved. The guys that I work with and I encourage the staff is, how you look and how you act and how you speak goes a long way. And I think Newton flag football, and that's hats off to you, Jay, I think it's a well-oiled machine. It's run the right way. I think we try our best as officials to mirror the image of what you've put together. And I think in terms of overall, what we're looking for is to keep kids safe. Safety is the main key. I think a lot of kids are playing more flag football. We have a lot of issues with concussions and things of that sort. And, we try to encourage, sportsmanship. Obviously, there's no illegal contact, though we try to minimize as much as possible illegal contact. And just like I said, overall, try to keep things safe. We've with the league, the way it's designed, that the rushers are 7 yards back. You have the official, the quarterback has, 7 seconds to get it off. And then I think that allows, without the blocking, once again, it allows a certain skill level that these kids have to produce to be able to get in without making contact, elude people, and pull flags. It looks a lot easier than it is, but these kids, some of whom may have never played, are now allowed to utilize that skill and develop that skill, which in turn will help them to move forward if they do want to play contact football. And we try to keep things orderly so that everybody goes home safe and sound.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and again, I think you really bring up some key points, right? I think part of the reason why flag football is such a fast-growing sport, and I think I read that it's the fastest-growing sport in America, is because it is safe. There's not hardly any contact, and if there is, that's going to be some kind of penalty.
Right.
Maybe one of the other things that you could speak to, at least in my experience, in terms of things. I mean, I'll just say as a coach, kind of commissioner level, one of the things that it took me a while to get used to was the idea that you can't have any pitches or any laterals or no passes. All passes have to be forward from the line of scrimmage. And all the handoffs have to be direct handoffs, which has been a little bit controversial in our league because some coaches want to, draw up a halfback option, off a pitch or something like that. But is there anything that you know of that gets called a lot? I mean, maybe it's flag guarding or leaving your feet or other plays like that?
So yes, as you said, I guess the no pitch rule has been a little controversial because of there's different leagues. There's so many flag football leagues now out and about. There's other leagues that do allow the pitch rule, and we don't. However, I think it forces the players to use their agility to go after a little bit harder and kind of gives you, I think in sports and in basketball and football, it's about advantage, disadvantage, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So a pitch to us is considered an added advantage, okay? So that kind of helps us to balance that out, where by not allowing the pitch, maybe it forces you to really get in and make a fair, non-controversial pull with no issues or no discrepancies. I think in terms of the flag guarding rule, which is also, and sometimes kind of be difficult because some kids are a little bit more unorthodox than others. Some kids have a different running style.
Yeah.
And and just from coaching yourself. And it becomes a judgment call. But I think as an official, we try to correct it or address it early and be fair about it, and then keep it consistent throughout the rest of the game. But it is tough. I think another tough call is sometimes in the end zone, as you said. The jumping into the end zone or placing the ball into the end zone. A lot of people don't understand. It's where your flag is at goal line. It's not where the ball is. It's not like football. So those are rules that we try to get out to everybody to understand. We're not trying to penalize or take anything away from you. We're not trying to create an advantage or disadvantage to either team. But the rule is where that flag is. Where the flagpole is. And that's what we.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. But I just want to say, that's a really spot on comment, because, if you're watching college football or high school football or NFL, right, it's always, did he break the plane, or where's the ball in relation to the goal line or whatever, which is totally different when you're playing flag football. Because if your flag belt is behind the line of scrimmage or the end zone, then it's where that flag is pulled, not where the ball is at the time. And
exactly.
Yeah, that can be difficult, especially, I know in our regular season games, we usually have just one official on the field. But as we ramp up in playoffs and Super Bowl, we do put two out there just to have another set of eyes. But of course, you can't be everywhere at once, and we're always trying to do our best. But I guess along those lines, maybe just for a little bit of fun, flag or basketball or whatever. What can you recall maybe in all of your experiences? What's the craziest reffing experience, that you had? Breakaway plays. I don't know, something from nothing. Anything kind of stand out that comes to mind?
Anything that stands out.
You see a 40-year-old white guy going up for a last-minute layup to win the game and totally choke? No, nothing like that?
I'm trying to think. After, like I said, 13 years of officiating, I've probably seen more than my share. I want to say that I think one of the craziest plays that I saw was, and I think it may have been in our league. It was in the upper division, and it might have been for Ian's team. And I want to say, I think it reminded me of Odell Beckham. I think one of the big players kind of snatched it with that type of grab, the hand grab pulling to put them ahead to close out a game when it looked like they didn't have a chance, and that closed out the game. But the catch itself was kind of like, after the game, I walked away like, wow, he really, you walked away like, these kids are really talented, So you see like a skill set and a skill level to make you be like, you're in a little bit of awe. So I think that might have been a highlight. Down by a touchdown, one hand grab in the end zone, and that closes the game out. So I think that might have been one of the highlights. So
well, it's a great story. And obviously, I was having a little fun earlier at my own expense. But I think you raise another good point. Apart from officiating, apart from coaching and everything else, is I think you've seen it, and I know I've seen it over the last 5 seasons or so we've been at this, right? That Newton flag players and the quality, I think, just keeps getting better and better and better, right? And as you know, we're starting to host some tournaments, and we're sending more teams to tournaments. And I mentioned the event we held at Boston College, where we had one of Coach Ian's team, Coach Ian's team actually in the finals against what was it, the Granite State Steelers, right? So a team that competes at national, regional types of events, and I think they ended up losing, unfortunately. But I think that we're definitely building, and while I think it's a great entry sport and people can come in, we're definitely getting stronger, and the coaches are developing strategies, the players are getting better, and you're seeing it kind of come around. And I'm really excited for when we can get back on the field and start doing, what we love again. And, I think the sky's the limit for us and for the program. And I'm excited to see where we can go from here.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I totally echo what you say, Jacob. I think we've, in just a few years, the enrollment of kids has grown.
Yeah.
I think the interest from the parents and, the input that we get has been positive feedback. And again, to, those that are watching is that, and with your leadership, because I know you're modest with it, but I think you do a great job. You and Megan, all our staff. I think everybody's committed to, a quality product, a quality league, a safe league, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to more growth. I'm looking forward to get word. That Newton Flag it makes sports enjoyable again. You look forward to coming out on Sunday when those parents and those kids, and it comes down to the end of the year and they're getting, their medal or their trophy. Some of those kids probably, they might have never had that opportunity, but they walk away and we walk away and they're saying, I'll see you next Sunday, or, they're looking forward to next season, and that's what we want to do. So again, hats off to you and our, the staff that we have, and I definitely want everybody to know we're committed, to making it grow and giving the best effort that we can to make it a quality league.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, you know what it's like at the end of the day, and we've had days where you and I are out there for 5 hours or something in the pouring rain,
Oh.
it's your fingers are freezing, and can't imagine it sometimes, but at the end of the day, you know what it's like when you get that good feeling, and it's like you're doing something right, you're doing something good, and you're making a contribution around I'd like to think it's a community, of folks that we have here, and and we've had a lot of positive feedback. I mean, I think I told you, but maybe not. But our since we started, our league's more than doubled in size in just about 2 years, and it's a busy, competitive marketplace that kids have a lot of choices, and I think that speaks to a lot of what we put together. And like I said, you're truly integral part of that, and just want to thank you again for your time, sharing your thoughts, and look forward to seeing you again real soon, and we'll get back out there. Any last words for the audience? Anything else you want to add or sign off, share with us?
Yeah, well, I just want to say lastly, I said, to you, Jay, thanks, for allowing me to be part of, a good league. I'd say a great league. And I think the sky's the limit, and just to let everybody know if they have any issues or concern, our ref staff, yourself, myself, we're open, our door is open. And we just want to make this better and grow and keep the Newton Flag football together, baby. That's the plan. Keep it together.
That's right. That's right.
So I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks so much, man. And I think we're going to wrap it up for the night, and we'll look forward to being in touch. Thanks again for your time. Be well.
Okay. All right. You too. Thanks, partner. Thanks, Jay.
All right. Thanks. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye.